Hey guys, thank you for watching this interview. We talked a lot with Stacy about arena and honor hunt. She agreed to share with us formations for it and all three bothers in current meta. So as soon as this interview hit 200 likes, we'll post this formation on our Discord interview room. So make sure to put a like on the video when you finish watching. We hope you'll know something new from this interview and enjoy. See ya. Okay. So, Stacy, where are you from?
I am from the US. I live in Connecticut. And specifically, even right now, I'm in my house in Stafford Springs.
Wow, that's great. Okay. What do you do for a living?
I'm a process engineer. So I went to school for architecture, but because I live in Connecticut, which is the insurance capital of the world, I ended up in insurance. So I'm a process engineer in insurance.
Oh, great. Okay. Do you have any hobbies? Like, how do you spend your free time?
Yeah, I have a lot of hobbies. So I do a lot of crafting. So painting, wreath making, pottery, pretty much any craft. I do a lot of crafting, and I also do quite a bit of sports. So I like to run and I like to kayak.
Okay. Is this your painting on the background?
Yes, yeah, that's a watercolor from one of my.
Wow, looks great. Okay. Okay. Can you tell about yourself to our players as well, if you got anything to
add? Just me as a player, you mean?
Yeah, and as a person as well. Yeah.
Okay. So I am a mom of 5. I'm married and I have 2 cats, which are currently fighting in the background if you happen to hear cats. And as a player, I'm part of the RGR clan, previously part of the RYL clan, and to just do my best as a productive part of the community in the larger AOW world.
Okay, that's cool. We're cat loving community here, by the way. So okay. So let's talk about game with you. How did you know about our game?
I downloaded it from, I think it was Facebook, I think is where I saw it. And it was
advertisement, right?
What's that?
Advertisement, right?
Yes. Definitely the expedition levels that captured me. So I really had no interest in doing anything other than the expedition levels, but in order to unlock more, I had to play more other levels. So I did that. And then within a week, I had unlocked all the levels and was playing in arena, and then I got hooked.
Okay. So we know how to get new players with the expeditions.
Yeah, definitely the expeditions.
Okay. How many hours a day do you play?
Sometimes too much. I have played up to 12 hours a day. Wow. Trying to test and figure out what's going on. Most of the time, I'm probably more about 3, maybe 4 hours a day. Still a lot of hours.
Yeah, that's true. But it's cool. Okay. Which heroes don't you have, and are you looking to acquire them?
I'm always looking to get the heroes. Everyone says I play Pokemon. I collect them all. So the ones I'm currently missing are Horus, Beowulf, and Azrael, and Athena.
Athena. Okay. What are your favorite troops and heroes in the game?
I don't know that I have a favorite of anything. I like everything. I'm a big Beastmasters. Those are really cool troops to use, especially in the back row. I've been to really like Soul Hunters and Cactus. I get teased for those ones a lot. But there's really no favorite troops. I think everyone uses Frost Archers and Pelts. I probably use them less than most people.
Oh, okay.
But I like all the troops. And then as far as heroes, I think Celine is probably always going to be my favorite. She was my first hero, so she'll probably always be my favorite hero.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Okay. Let's talk about clans like RYL and RGR clan. How did you join RYL? And what ordinary player should have to join this clan?
So I'd been playing the game for about a week, and then I got onto Discord. At that point, the season was just wrapping up, so I must have joined midway through a season. It was the season Deadpool one. So I Discord, went to where you could join clans, and saw Royal, reached out to, at the time was John Doe, and just said, hey, can I join? And he said yes. So I had ranked 602 that season. I think they were taking a chance on me joining, but they let me in. And I think any player at this point now should be looking at Royal. They're a top clan. They have 3 clans, so you can join without being a top player and work your way up through the multiple clans. So they're very helpful. A lot of really good players there.
Yeah, but as far as I understand, you joined RYL when they didn't have sister clans, right? So
right.
I thought there's gonna be like something like, oh, John Doe reached me out. We've been talking a lot before that, but you're just applied and that's it.
Yeah, that was it. It was the first person I talked to on Discord was actually Preds from the NBA. And I just said, hey, I know how to message people. So he helped me figure out how to message John Doe. And of course said, you know, if RYL won't accept you, NBA will. So I was lucky that I got into RYL. Otherwise, I would have been part of NBA.
Yeah, that's true. And it's actually pretty cool that you can just apply to the one of the toppest clan and just get in.
Yeah, I think I was lucky.
Yeah. And so how did you like in RYL?
It was great. It's actually a great community. They've got a lot of really great players, a lot of strategic talk. John Doe, though, was my favorite. He was the best. So maybe things would be different. I'd still be there if John Doe was still around. But things didn't work out that way. But it's still a great clan.
Okay. So did you get a lot of knowledge maybe from this clan? Did they help you with formations?
Yeah, I think when I first joined, my form wasn't the best. So any help they tried to give me, I was like, I don't have that troop, can't do that. So it felt like on my own trying to figure it out for a little while, but they still all tried. I just wasn't up to the same level that everybody else was. It took me the next season, I was able to use what I had, and I was able to rank 33 in arena. So it didn't take too long, but it did take the whole season for me to try to figure out what to build based on their help.
Wow. You made a pretty quick way to the top in the arena, I gotta say.
Yeah, it didn't take too long, but it was a little bit different back when I started too. I think it would take probably a little longer now.
Yeah. Okay. So how and why did you found RGR? And how can a normal player join your clan?
Yeah, so RGR was something that came about over multiple seasons. Things had changed in arena. So the dynamics between Royal and Rip really became very tense, and it just had escalated to a point that people weren't having a lot of fun. We had gone into a space of just doing anything and everything you could in order to try to win. And some of that stuff I didn't necessarily like, and others didn't necessarily like either. So Celtic and I had been talking as captains of Royal, saying we want to do something different. The constant shifting of rosters and trying to do other things in order to win wasn't very appealing. We founded RGR. Initially, we reached out to a couple people who we knew had felt the same about things, and they also wanted to join. So we started with just a handful of players before officially launching in game, which was very helpful. And then just word of mouth spread, and we were able to pretty quickly fill up our roster and compete well in arena. But as far as players who want to join RGR, we really don't have any specific requirements. We're looking for people who want to be part of something different part of a family of not just one clan, not multiple clans. So we really are very tight knit. We share a lot. We test a lot. So that's the kind of we're looking for. It doesn't mean that you have to be a top player already or a top spender already. It's just more of the conversation with players to understand goals, where people are going, and why they're even interested in RGR.
Okay. So looks like you guys more into friendly communication, helping each other more than just conquering top tiers in the arena, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say we are focused on both. We definitely are looking to compete. We're very competitive. It's more than that. It's not just being competitive. So we're going to start shifting rosters around or competitive. So we're going to kick people out. We'll help each other. And so if someone is not performing as well as we know they could, we'll help them and make sure that they are, raising their standards as well. So it's a little different.
Nice.
That's a great attitude, I gotta say. But the way that you made through to top tiers in arena is really impressive, because you're a young clan, right? And you're already in a top and competing with RYL, RIP. How did you manage to do this? That's really impressive.
Yeah, most of our clan, they're older players. They've been around in arena for a while. They were, most of them, top of RIP or RYL or other clans like ALN. So we came together as a player group of people who were just kind of tired of how things were, and we wanted to do things differently. So that allowed us to be able to go right to the top pretty quickly. They train up from the bottom.
Okay. So how do you manage your clan?
So we have a couple of different leadership tiers in the clan. We have captains and we have the lieutenant. We do it based on a voting system. We have rules in place. So it's all written out like a charter. We know what the rules are and how votes are happening. And we make sure that we announce to the rest of the clan when votes will be happening. So everyone has input. We'll let them know you have 24 hours to provide feedback on this before votes happen. And then we'll share the results of that feedback as well. So it's really a very collaborative way that we run the clan. Make sure that everyone has their voice heard and doesn't feel left out.
Okay. So what did you guys vote for usually?
Things like what the clan name was going to be, or if we're going to allow, a new player in, we have a couple people you can vote for, or could be even on adding a new rule to the clan charter. So one of the more recent things we were taking a look at was just how we do arena with making sure alley bombs are hitting in a certain spot or not, and what that means, and trying to work with the devs to understand how that works. So we took a vote on talking to the devs or what we should do about it.
Okay, that's really great democracy approach.
Yeah, that's what we're trying.
Okay. Does your clan have enemies, or do you have any wars with the other clans?
No, not really. Many of us came from a lot of these other clans, so there isn't one clan that's an enemy. And I think that's a lot of what brought RGR together, is that we didn't want the whole Royal versus RIP dynamic. So we don't really have a specific enemy, but being a top clan, I would say a lot of people are probably out to get us, but we just want to play and have fun.
Okay, that's great. Okay, let's talk about Honor Hunt. So the first question, how did you manage to become a champion in 52nd season?
I think I was lucky is what happened there. So I was away on vacation and just sort of put my troops together like I normally would, but they happened to actually do really well that season. So the dynamics of SERB actually changed for this season, which is why I think I'm not doing as well. So during the season that I won, you were able to use a very balanced army in order to be able to win, where this go around, having a mass number of voodoos is going to benefit you greatly. So there, and how Serb was actually performing during both of them. The other thing too is that I will rerun. So I will try, if I don't like that run, I'll quit and I'll try again. It usually takes me about 15 attempts in order to be able to get a score that I'm willing to stick with. So that was also helpful.
Okay, that's cool. What's your usual like place you take in arena? Oh, in honor hunt, sorry.
It varies based on the monster. So with Serb, that was my first place. I can usually get between second and fourth though. And it looks like I'll probably end up with second this go around as well. With Spider, that one's really tough for me. I probably could get top 15, but because I can't get into top 10, I don't try as hard there. So I usually end up around 20 to 25. And then with Cyclops, I got fourth this last go around, but that was my first time breaking into the top 10.
Okay. Do you have any advices for the players about troop formation and also heroes to every boss, I think, because it varies?
Yeah, with Serb, Drac is definitely going to be the go-to hero. In terms of army, it depends how Serb is performing. So this time, he's allowing live for a very long time. So you're going to do well with having a lot of voodoo. But it also helps to still have the balanced army. So I do back it up with still some ranged. I use pelts, a couple of nuns, a couple of frost archers, use a pumpkin guard, and a couple brawlers. That's pretty much my troops. Last time when the melee didn't live very long, I had to rely on a lot of necromancers as well. So it changes. Cyclops, I use a lot of Taurus Witchers. I know a lot of people use a lot of melee with him. I don't. I do it a little differently. But otherwise, pretty much the same thing as what I described for Serb, using a couple of frost archers, a couple of nuns, brawlers, things like that. And then with the Spider, I do a lot of necromancers. So Spider relies right now, at least, very heavily on lag, which is something that is not easy for me. I use an iPhone 12 and I don't introduce outside lag or anything. So it's very difficult for me to perform well on that monster. But if you can use a lot of necromancers, it helps to bring lag, and that helps to get high scores.
Okay. What about heroes to these bosses? Like, which one's your favorite?
Which one is my favorite hero with the bosses, or which one's my favorite boss?
No, about the favorite boss, we're going to talk a bit later. I mean, which hero is your pick to go against every boss?
Yeah, so with the Spider, I think that one was Drake. And with Cyclops, I'm sorry, that one's Arthur. And then with Cyclops, it's Drake. And then with Cerberus, it's Dracula.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So who's your favorite boss?
Serb is my favorite just because he's nice and easy. You just hit, run, and go. You don't have to think about it. Spider, though, I do like where you have to think about when to hit the buttons and when to activate your hero. So that's fun. Cyclops is definitely not my monster. I don't like him very much at all.
Okay. And the easiest, you mentioned Cerberus, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Let's talk about arena then. So what was the highest arena rank you got?
I've gotten third, and I've gotten fourth a couple of times. I usually finish somewhere between there and maybe 20th or so. Lowest outside my first season I finished was 50th. So I'm somewhere up there.
Okay, that's cool. Do you have any advices for the players about how to take top places in arena?
Yeah, so reset plays a big part of performing well. The closer to reset you can do your attacks, the better you're going to be. So I'm usually able to get my attacks done, depending on what heroes I'm using on offense, between 30 minutes, 40 minutes, sort of depends. Right now I'm using heroes that take a little longer, so I usually start my run around 40 minutes to reset, and that is definitely very helpful. Other things that are really helpful is just making sure that you have a good solid defense and good solid offense. So it's connecting with your clan, making sure that you've tested things and sharing information as much as you can. I know in RGR, many of us use very similar, if not the same offenses. So it's better to have 50 people testing things, coming up with the best options versus 50 individual testing and keeping it to themselves. So we do a lot of sharing like that, and that's very helpful.
Wow. It's a lot of work for you guys to test formations, and yeah, impressive.
Yeah, it's not easy staying at the top.
How much time do you spend on it to test it?
It depends. As arena season is starting to close, I would say probably 2-3 hours a day on testing. Right now, it's still a little early in the season. I do more playing, so offense, I'm using Neza, Dracula, other heroes that I don't typically use when we get closer to the end of the season.
Okay. So what is the best hero to perform well in arena?
Depends if you're talking about defense or offense, and also just changes meta. So
what
defense.
About the current meta?
What's that?
What about the current meta? Both defense and offense.
Yeah, so current meta defense, I would say Allie and Arthur probably second up for defense. Offense, there's such a variety of things you can use. I was using Dracula and Neza yesterday. I don't think that those will end up being the ones I use. Typically, I go to Davy, Keone, and Celine are usually some of my go-tos. I know a lot of people use Arthur also on offense. So that even will change a little bit as well, depending on what you're seeing out there on defense.
Okay. But what depends on your hero choose? Like, for example, do you pick counter picks for heroes in defense, in enemy's defense?
So I choose my heroes based on what's working. Like right now, the alley bombs are all hitting dead center of my army or front of my army. They're just a mess and destroying my army on offense. So I would typically like to use Celine against Allie, but it's not working very well. So that's where I went to Neza yesterday and was using Neza to beat Allie because it's less dependent on where those bombs are hitting. So it sort of just depends on what you're seeing, and it's different for each individual account as well. So other people will say that their alley bombs are hitting the back or wherever they're hitting. So it really will change based on an individual. So forms don't work universally for everyone. You do have to test and see what's working for you.
Okay. Yeah. What heroes are the most inconvenient for you to fight against?
Well, Allie right now, because her bombs are a mess. But if they're at least in a consistent spot, I don't know that there's really any hero that's causing me any issues. I can usually figure them all out. But right now, definitely Allie's a problem.
Okay. So if you want to perform well against StacyLee, you got to pick Allie, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Can you name the players that you don't like to battle against?
I don't like to battle against the people who I've talked to, people who I consider friends, but I will. It's also hit them still, but I have other choices. I'll usually hit other people aside from the people I talk to.
Okay. Do they text you and be like, why did you attack me or something like that?
Yeah, most people, it's a fun game. We enjoy doing that. Some people definitely get their feelings hurt, so I try to avoid them.
Okay. Yeah, we already talked about test information. Yeah, okay. Let's talk about Discord. Do you like our server?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's probably the reason I continue playing, having the social aspect to it.
Mhm. So do you think players that don't know about our Discord server should know about it and join?
Yes, for sure. If they don't, I'm not sure how long they end up playing the game. My guess would be that anyone who joins Discord ends up playing a whole lot longer.
Yeah, they can find friends as well, and someone
Yep.
who's going to help them. Yeah. Uh, okay, this is my favorite question. Who's your favorite admin on Discord?
That's like when my kids ask me who I love the most. It's the person who is at this moment, you're the person asking me.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. Uh, do you participate in our Discord events? And what's your favorite event?
I do. I usually do participate. I actually just did the puzzles this last go around, which was fun.
Mhm.
A favorite. It's if I have time, I will participate in anything that's out there. But it's a time dependent.
Okay. Um, yeah. Do you want to say anything to your friends on Discord server?
I talk to them enough. They probably don't want to hear from me anymore. But just hi everybody. Reach out if you have any questions, things that weren't answered or anything too. I'm always happy to answer any additional questions. So send me a message and I'm happy to do that.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, now we've got questions from our players on Discord room. Abe asked, in your opinion, Sundok is counter for Ellie?
She can be, but not the best counter for Allie. So Yomniak, she seems to really be able to counter just about any hero, but her form has to really drastically change in order to do it. The good thing Yak is just she performs so well at level 1 compared to other heroes. So by the time you get her to level 15, she's not as good as some of the other heroes, but she's still, decent counter to pretty much everything. Just will require a very specific form.
So the best counter for Ellie is only Neza or someone else?
That's just what I was doing yesterday around those bad alley bombs. But Neza definitely works if you have the right form. That's probably consistent right now. But I'd say Arthur or Celine also work really well for most people, unless you have those alley bombs like I'm having.
Okay. Next question is from Benz. I really like this one. To be or not to be?
I'm assuming that's based on my my name, and so I StacyLee with a little B icon. And that was actually because of my last name too. So StacyLee Balswitz. So I shortened it and just started using a little icon B, and that's where the B comes from. So to be or not to be, I'll always to be. Be helpful, be kind, be friendly, be happy.
Okay, that's a great answer. Next question is from AOW Me. He's actually asking the second question now. What would you like the Mystic store in the territory screen to be?
Oh, I think it would be a lot of fun if we could equip our heroes with different things like shields and swords and have this new piece of equipment be something unique that you can start building. I think that would be a lot of fun in the Mystic Store, is to be able to do that. Maybe even trade in shards in order to be able to get those new pieces of equipment. That'd be cool.
It's actually a good idea about the items in the game. I think it would add pretty much more tactics in it.
Yeah, I think so. I think that would be fun.
Yeah. Okay. Next question is from T34. How do you see Sunduk at present? Do you gonna use her frequently in the future?
Right now, I think people are still really trying to figure out her best form. I have used her on defense. She can do okay. It just sort of depends what you're putting out there. I think in the future, we'll probably see things change with her. She'll be really good with level 10 troops whenever those happen. And she's really good at low levels. So for those reasons, she's really good. I do also use her in hero trials frequently. So she's good there. But otherwise, she's not my go-to hero. I have some other ones I prefer.
Oh, okay. Next question. I'm not sure if you want to answer on it, but it's from Greatest Jordan. Would you eat a steak if it was the only way to win at arena season? I assume you're a vegan, right?
Yeah, I'm very close to vegan. I'm actually allergic to meat. So I would steak because that would be bad news for me. So answer is no.
Okay.
Hi guys, thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe on AOW.
Art of War. Play now.